Father, again, we thank you for a beautiful day you've given us. We thank you for this squadron and the safety you provided us with guardian angels. Help guide us through our mission, that we may learn more about our mission and remain safe. Be with those who are indisposed, Father, and we pray for their healings. Most of all, we just praise you and glory.
Amen. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. I'm going to start with, as always, let's embarrass our new guests. Brandon, just introduce yourself and tell us what brings you here.
Brandon Stevenson. I am a active duty Army up at Fort Irwin, about 2 hours from here. I'm a Black Hawk maintenance test pilot by trade, but right now I fly Lakota helicopters up there. I have a couple guys that came here before me that just joined recently, Josh Willoughby and Dathan Fletcher, and they told me about the good program that you guys have going here. I didn't know about it beforehand, so I figured come down, check it out, and hopefully join, and hopefully be helpful, be a contributing member to you guys.
Excellent. Well, Paul, you'll have a challenge. He has more rotor time than fixed wing time.
I think you talked on the phone.
Are you? Oh, yeah.
Welcome.
We did. Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Excellent. And let's see. We have a new member, Austin Gilmore. I think you reached out to him via email, but I don't see him here today. So excellent. But the squadron's going. I think we're at 41 now. So that is excellent. You guys are making my commander's intent easy because I said I was going to grow the squadron. Anyways, let's see. I don't know of any promotions. Am I missing anything? Any awards, recognitions? All right, none of that stuff. So, as the new format, as I've been doing, let's cut to the chase with a presentation from Lieutenant Dillon.
Such a deal.
You want me to switch off to source 3? Right?
Yeah, and I'll also be sharing my screen. So.
All right.
All right. Oops, I gotta put this.
Oh, you gotta put that up there?
Yeah,
No problem.
sorry. I'll figure out somewhere here. All right, so let's get this going. What we're talking about tonight is drones and their use in CAP. So let me show you a couple of quick videos. CAP uses primarily Skydio drones. They are what's referred to as blue mission capable. In other words, they're made in the U.S., so there's no issues with security, so they say. And let me turn the audio back on. No TikTok-enabled drones. So this is the smaller of the two. We actually do have one of these in the group. It is located at one of the nearby airports. I'm not sure exactly which. It's called the Skydio 2. So because they're American made and they're DoD purchased by the DoD, the price tag for these drones are quite expensive. So. It flies very easy though, because I got qualified on both this one and the next one that I'm going to show you, which is our current flagship drone. All right. So this is the more military version. We do have one of these in the wing that I'm aware of. And CAP doesn't let you catch drones by hand, by the way. That does-
You gotta buy your own drone for that.
yeah, no. Yeah. Okay, so that's kind of the teaser. Now here's the one we're supposed to get.
When you say it's supposed to, is that for here?
No, no, that's probably one in the wing. These are about 50 grand.
A new generation of small UAS
Chump
is
change.
ready for use.
Chump change. That last one was 25 grand, the one before.
Built to revolutionize human-machine teaming, Skydio X-10D's rugged airframe is adaptable to any mission. Equipped with high-resolution sensors and a first-of-its-class radiometric thermal camera, Skydio X-10D enables enhanced standoff that increases survivability while you make faster and better decisions. Unmatched autonomy unlocks a new generation of battlefield tactics, including flight in varied terrain and more operational geometries. Navigate dense obstacles with ease, day or night. NightSense brings the power of autonomous flight to zero-light conditions. Advanced onboard AI simplifies battlefield tasks, calculates ground-level distances, protects mobile teams with autonomous overwatch, tracks subjects, and rapidly generates detailed 2D and 3D models. Built to evolve with you, X10D can carry multiple attachment options. Its open modular architecture supports changing battlefield technology and advanced multi-drone operations. Small, smart, survivable, scalable. Skydio X10D.
All right. So yeah, we haven't got one of those yet. Looking forward to it though. So what does CAP use drones for? Primarily search and rescue. However, there's also disaster recovery when you're looking at disaster damage, when you're looking at trying to see are roads open, things like that. Right now, drones are attached to the ground teams. So everything to do with drones is all in WIMMERS. It's always in the ground team section of WIMMERS. So when you create a sortie for a drone, it's done in the ground team section. So just in case for whatever reason you go to look for a drone sortie, you're not going to find it where the aircraft are. It's important to keep in mind they obviously have limitations. These are some of these are what are referred to as prosumer drones. This one is a consumer drone. Does cool stuff, but not designed for this kind of work. The CAP drones are not DJI. They're not Chinese. There are some CAP units that have purchased their own, but they can't be used on Air Force missions. Right, wrong, or indifferent, and I'll leave it up to the IT guys. This drone I can completely remove from the internet, so it has absolutely there's no issue with the Chinese grabbing the data from it or anything else. But apparently Skydio has a better lobby than DJI. So at any rate, did you have a question? I'm sorry. I thought I saw. Oh, okay. I thought I saw you raise your hand. At any rate, so there's a whole lot of stuff going on right now with Chinese drones and US saying, no, you can't use them. They're talking about banning them completely in the United States. I personally don't think that's going to happen simply because they'd have to buy these all back. Yes, sir.
So the DJIs, they are no longer shipping from China.
Right.
They are, so you can only purchase them if they're in stock in the United States.
Correct. Yeah. Because there has been some tariffs put on them and some other things. So great drones. I got to tell you, that little guy right there, this one, does anything that you would want to do as a prosumer. It has 360-degree collision avoidance. I could take that and fly it towards that wall and it won't crash. It won't crash into the ceiling or the floor. It won't let you break it. Some of these don't. This one does not. It has no collision avoidance, so you're on your own. Yours does, though, correct? Yours does collision avoidance. This drone we just used to do a mapping mission. Let me show you a little bit of that. So CAP belongs or has subscriptions to what is called Drone Deploy. So this is the park that we currently fly at over in Norco. And what we did was we laid out the parameters where we wanted that drone to fly and take pictures of. You can see here it's saying that it's going to take it 96 photos in order to map this area. It's going to take about 3 minutes, and it's 2 acres. It'll burn up 1 battery. So pretty smart. Let me go to the Explorer so we can look at the actual map that we made. Oh, sure.
Yeah, so do you just like lay it out on like the website or whatever, and then or the app, or
Yeah.
and it just kind of goes and does it? You don't even have to.
No, in fact, this one, I have the Squadron. What is it called? You can do it with a phone. You can do it with an iPad. Once you lay it out, it has the ability to completely control this drone. So this one was sitting on the ground. We told it to start the mission,
Just does it?
up in the air, and flies this route. It's truly an amazing technology. So as you can see here, it overlays, and it's hard to tell at this height, but you can see the edges. In fact, let me turn on annotations, and you can see that's the edges of where we map. So I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see the difference between Google Earth and our becomes pretty apparent. So this is our mapping project. This is Google Earth. You can see that the clarity is much better on the one that we did. By the way, this was all done at 150 feet, so that's not even the highest resolution. It's actually pretty low in the scheme of resolution. So you can see here I annotated a couple of things. So I brought in one set of the NIST buckets, but this is a practice route that we utilize. And now that line is something I drew on this map. So you take off, you rotate around here, you take pictures, and the whole point is you take pictures so that you can see these tags in the picture, and you can tell that you've not only taken the right picture, but you're lined up down the throat of that bucket. So it teaches you a lot of different things. By the way, we built these, so these will be in the hangar. So if somebody else wants to use them or whatever, I'm going to try to set up a checkout system. But if you get interested in drones and you want to use them, they're going to be out in the hangar. Let's see. So this is what's referred to as the two-dimensional view. You can set it up, you can program it so that it will take a three-dimensional photographs. What it does, it flies the perimeter. Let me turn on a couple of things here for you. So each one of these spots represents where a picture was taken. Let me turn off some of the other. So each one of those spots is where a picture was taken. You can see that these ones around the perimeter, once I turn on three-dimensional, give it a second here, you can tell by these cubes which direction the camera was pointing and things like that. I don't want to get too geeky, but the point is you can now actually look at three-dimensional representation. So imagine if this was a building that somebody needed to do a rescue in, and they needed to know how tall the trees were or where things were, they wanted to land a helicopter here, you could map all of that for them, give that to the Forest Service, whoever needs that data. Let me turn on contours for you. That's not contours. That's weird.
If you mic on for Teams, I think Chris is saying there's no sound.
It's probably because it's my microphone over there.
Is it this one?
My laptop. That's probably why.
Oh, I think, let me check and see if my microphone is on.
Oh, yeah, the speaker is muted on Teams. What I should say.
Oh, okay, how about now? Is that better? Somebody tell me.
Chris, can you hear us? Chris, you can show.
Sorry about that. We seem to might be having a data problem because it's not rerouting. Well, we'll let that go for now. But the point is it's
Yes, she said yes.
this software, along with a drone, you can map large areas of area, whether it's buildings, whether it's ground, whether it's, no matter what it is. And you can supply that not only for search capabilities so that you can visually go search for the kid, the car, the motorcycle, the person, whatever it is. You can take the output from this and put it into other programs. One is called Locate, where it will do a pixel by pixel search based on what you want it to do. So if the report is 5-year-old kid wearing a blue windbreaker wandered into wherever, you can actually tell it just find blue pixels, and then it will mark that on a map and say, look at this photo, look at this photo. So it helps the rescuer clean some of that out. I don't know why that did that. May have to start again. Yeah, could be. Let's go home, see if we can reset it. That looks better. Nope. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, we can move on, but I just wanted you guys to be aware that that's generally what happens with drones and drone photographs. Sure, you can do overwatch for a ground team. So when we go out with the ground team, a lot of times we will fly with them. And a couple of the Serexes that we did, there would be a very steep hill that was in the search area. So we would go search that hill with the drones. Therefore, the ground team could concentrate in the flatlands and the fields, and the drone could take care of, searching a hill or something else that was less than kind to the searchers. So, all right. So, what do you have to do to become a drone person? Let's take a quick peek here. That's good. Okay. Two things. I would suggest that you start with your technician. Let me pull that up. So, first thing you got to have is GES. Let me increase this a little bit here so it's hopefully a little easier to read. There is an online course, and I think there was an email that went out where you'll be able to get a whole bunch of these FAM and prep tasks done. I'm currently in the process of getting my set, which means I'll be able to sign stuff off for you for technician, hopefully soon, and get the FAM and prep done. And then you have to go and you got to do advanced training. So you got to do the IS classes, just like a lot of the other ones. You need to participate in missions, and then you have to do 5 exercises. That doesn't mean it's 5 days. You can do 5 separate sorties, and you can get your technician fairly quick. Not saying it's easy. There's a lot of hoops that they have you jump through, but once you're done with it, it's nice to have it done. The ops qual for the mission pilot is very similar to what it is for regular manned mission pilot. You do have to have your Part 107 before you really get started. For manned pilots, for private pilots, this is a super easy requirement. You just basically go on the FAA website and you take a free online 45 questions. Is that? Yeah.
It's mostly airspace.
Yeah, a lot of airspace questions. So you go online, you take it, and it's free. For those of you that are not private pilots, you do have to study for it. There's a lot to learn, a lot of airspace, a lot of air weather. Trying to think what else was on there.
Drone classes.
Yeah, different classes of types of drones and things like that. And then you have to go to an FAA testing center. In fact, I went to the CBUs over here at, it's a nice testing center. Worked out good. I think it's about $170 now, $120. Is it 120? Yeah.
1 AMUs, as we said.
Yeah. So make sure that you're ready to go. I personally used I used Pilot Institute. They have an online course. It's very good. They have lots of practice tests. Very well done. What do you think? Is it a good course?
Very good recommendation, Chuck.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm going through the process right now.
Yeah. So then you have to do a Form 5, just like you do in a regular aircraft. You'll have to meet with a instructor pilot. Not too bad. There's an instructor pilot out of Orange County. He's agreed to come out here to our little park. Yeah, Balderston's one of them.
He's over at Fullerton.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a great guy. No complaints. Our wing commander is also a Czech pilot. Somehow
You should get your check ride done with the wing commander.
every one of my check rides have been with the wing commander, and it wasn't supposed to be. I was supposed to be doing it with Balderson, and then, yeah, but makes you a little more nervous when it's the wing commander looking over your shoulder. At any rate, so then you get all of that done, and then they want to see that you're flying for 4 hours. Whether or not you do it during, cap training, or you have your own drone, as long as you keep track of your hours, once you get your PIC for 4 hours, then you can get your commander approval to move on down the road. A lot of these FAM and prep are the same as the technician. Yes, ma'am.
So for those 4 hours, is it like a specific drone it has to be on, or?
No.
Just
No.
off time.
Yeah, any drone that is, probably not a toy drone like a $30 drone from, Amazon or something, but I've never, I used that one to do my PIC, and that I continue to build hours on that one as well. So.
I think since I'm probably the person who approves it, for me, video of your flight, because it has a camera on it. Just
right.
do a flight, show me the video, or show me where I can, go view it online. That's the proof I need.
And if you happen to have a DJI, it keeps track in your remote controller on how many hours you have in the air. So if you take a screenshot of that's perfectly fine too. They have no issue signing that off. So again, I won't go through each one of these, but it does take some time. You got to kind of dig in and make it to these things. Once you're all done, and I'm going to keep scrolling here, because again, you have to do 5 missions again as a trainee, and then you have to have an additional 7.5 hours, and then you take your Form 91. So it's pretty much like the regular mission pilot requirements that we have. And I think it's good. You know, you want to make sure, because like I said, these are expensive drones. The cap drones, they're, you know, I mean, they're not $700,000 aircraft, but you know, you don't want to fly a 25,000 drone into a wall. So yeah.
What does a drone Form 5 entail?
I can actually pull up a Form 5 form for you. It's
It's the same as your. I mean, you have ACS. I mean, you have like an ACSU. It's like a
Like
certain
you
things you're supposed to do.
Do
with
like
your own.
steep turns and stalls.
yeah.
Stop.
You don't so much do
Climb.
stalls, but what they'll want you to do is, for instance, you'll fly a square, keeping the camera pointing at a particular location. You'll then do that square again with keeping the camera following the path of the drone. There's several other things. You'll do search patterns. They'll have you do search patterns of, you know, same,
Demonstrate confidence with the device.
correct.
Which is the same thing we're doing with planes, right?
What's about to start, and that's why I brought in,
Oh, before you move on to that,
Sure.
I think the Form 91, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's basically you being able, without assistance, being able to run a drone mission. Is that basically what the Form 91 is?
absolutely. In fact, even the thing that's added to the Form 91 is you're going to wind up with a login to drone deploy. So you have to build a photographic mission. You have to go take that mission. You have to upload those photos, and you have to deliver the final,
Package to the client.
right, the final package. So, but again, I'm happy to help anybody that's interested in it. When I first started looking at this, I'm like, this is overwhelming. There is just too much stuff to do. So, but it can be done. Michael's heading through it. He's doing a good job getting through it. What CAP is talking about doing is adopting the NIST standard. Spinning up, going to Vegas. So here, this, what CAP is going to require, and supposedly this is starting late this year or early next year, is that you have to meet this level 1 open lane basic proficiency. So what they have you do, and as I demonstrated on the buckets, you can see here, this is, if you're aligned, you'll have a photo that looks like this. Even this is aligned, even though it's off center a little bit, as long as this dark line that you can see there, I hope you can see it, isn't broken. Let me get rid of that. That'll make it a little bigger. And then there's a couple of different flight paths that, wow, that didn't work, that they have you do. So you take off, you rise to a certain height, you point the camera gimbal, which this is the camera gimbal here. It's much easier to see than my little one that's under that dust cover. But you point the camera gimbal at a 45-degree angle and you take a picture of this bucket. So that would be bucket 1A. You also take a picture straight down, which shows that you have control, that you've lifted directly off of the start point. Then they have you rotate 360 degrees without moving the drone left, right, forward, back, and you take another picture of 1A. You rotate the other direction. So let me, just so you get an idea, this is...
In case you guys think this is easy, I think you do have to do it on a battery charge, right? So
You-
you have some...
It's timed.
There's a little bit of timing, yeah.
Yeah. So let me just scroll on down here. You've got 10 minutes, and that seems like you're like, man, that's forever. Not so much. So anyway, each one of these, and you have to take a picture wherever you see. So you launch and hover, take a picture of 1 and 2A, yaw left, 360, 1 and 2A, yaw right, 360, 1 and 2A. So you go through this entire list. That's that piece of it. Then you also have to do what's called the traverse. So you take off and you have to orbit left, take a picture down the correct bucket as shown here of 1B, then slide 2B, slide 3B, orbit 3C, come back here, and then you do it back the other direction as well. So when you're all done, you should have about 40 pictures of bottoms of buckets. Now, they haven't implemented this yet, but we as a squadron have this available to us. It's great practice. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
At first you think, it's kind of dumb until you try to do it, and then it's not. Then it's not so dumb.
It's hard. Get discontinued. That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, not so dumb. Anyway, so that is what is coming. Whether or not when that is going to happen out here in this wing, it's hard to know, or in this region, I should say. But let's see, what else was I going to show? We can look at those Form 5U forms. Well,
So basically, like I said, it's like the ACS. I mean, you know the maneuvers you have to do, and it's a matter of doing them efficiently, safely, without breaking something on the drone, right?
see if we can get this working again. Because the 3D is cool, how you can, when you look at a two-dimensional picture, like for instance, right here is a picnic table that you don't really have a very good view of. But if it ever catches back up, it's streaming a lot of data down from drone deploy. So I think that's what the problem is. But any questions while we're waiting for drone deploy to take over? Yes, sir.
If you get qualified and everything, can you just like rent it out for like personal use if you want to?
Yeah, in fact, I'm glad you mentioned that. They are supposed to start charging just like they do for aircraft. Right now it's free. There's no way for them to bill back. But supposedly, yeah, supposedly it's going to be like $25 an hour to do that. But if you want to get qualified, come talk to me. I'll rent you that one for free, and you can get qualified on it. So, there's a fairly good market of drones out there still. There's a lot of U.S.-based locations. And again, you don't have to use a DJI. You can use Skydio. You can use other brands of drone. Keep in mind, there are FAA regulations now that require, when you're flying Part 107, which every CAP mission is a Part 107 mission, you have to have ID on your aircraft. So this one comes with it built in. So this one automatically is putting out a FAA ID. Plus, they have to be registered with the FAA, which is...
It's the remote ID, not ADSB, right?
No, remote ID. It's not ADSB. There are some of the remotes and some of the aircraft, some of the bigger, newer DJI that actually collect ADSB data to tell you where aircraft are when they come around you. So it's kind of cool. But they don't transmit ADSB.
I've heard of some people, like, with the bigger drones, they just attach an ADSB unit to
Sure.
it.
Yeah, you could if you wanted. If you have a smaller drone that does not have built-in ID, there are remote ID devices. Because that little tiny one does not have built-in remote ID.
Could you use like a Raspberry Pi?
You could, but they're
Well, you're thinking of ADSB
Yeah.
at that point.
so this.
Also, you can see other people.
So this little box, and that's why this has the Velcro on it. This is remote ID. So this one is registered with the FAA, has a registration number. Then it's a, quote, legal Part 107 aircraft with that device on it and working. But this
Just wait till
isn't,
we get the certifications. It'll be so much more fun.
yeah, this isn't, I don't think this is going to load for whatever reason.
You might have to close your browser and
Yeah.
try it again.
Yeah, I hate to do that. Another question? Yes, sir.
When you start thinking about the altitude restrictions that they have for the drones, the only thing they gotta worry about is helicopters, because aircraft aren't gonna get down to 350 feet.
Well, it's interesting because so the way that it works is, especially like in this class Delta, because I live in the Riverside class Delta, as you go farther away from the airport, the allowable altitude increases. So where I live, I can go a max of 300 feet. By FAA regulations, the maximum altitude anywhere for a drone is 400 feet. So you're absolutely right. Helicopters are the big.
And Rupert, March Field has some regulations, and there's a lot of fields out to the east. And what they do, they'll take and call the tower, or call operations desk, and tell them that they're going to be operating a drone at so many feet,
Right.
so that they understand, because we get a lot of helicopter traffic that comes through there, mostly sheriffs and private, some military. So that's the only way an airport's going to know that an individual is working out of a field unless he calls. They're not going to ever know.
Well, there is an automated system now that they have. It's called Lance, where if you're flying in controlled airspace as a Part 107 pilot, you have to get Lance approval in order to fly there.
I was just trying to pull it up and I forgot it. I didn't do my app yet.
Yeah.
Great,
Is
great.
it basically like a temporary flight restriction, a notification?
Well, it's a
Or a
notification.
NOTAM.
So
You notice the
or it's a
air mission.
drone tem. So
NOTAMs, yeah.
so you, I think on the Lance app, you create your ID, you register your drone, and now when you're going to go fly, you open the app and say, I want to fly. Now it shows you in your current spot where you're allowed to fly, like what are your altitude ceilings. And when you say I don't want to fly my drone or whatever, it actually sends a request to the FAA, and you can get, in most cases, depending on what you're doing, you'll get like near instant approval. And then that updates the system where people are now aware of the fact that there's a drone in the area. But
There's a real quick comment for getting back to what Bob had to say, and that is that it's 400 feet, but if you have a tower, you got 400 feet above that tower, right?
As a Part 107 pilot, you can fly 400 feet above any obstruction, whether it's a building, a tree, a mountain, whatever. So you're,
so AGL.
It could be
AGL.
yeah, of course, it could be up there where there is conflicted airspace with a private GA.
right, but it is the drone pilot's responsibility to see and avoid all manned aircraft, period.
And this is the part, since, the FAA certificated pilots, like we go through this in ground school, there's a whole little game they play about, what airspace are you in, right? And then we play the rocket ship game where you start at the surface and go all the way up to space. What airspace are you in? And you'll start noticing strange little confluences of mountainous terrain where you could be in Class G airspace, which is completely open, but you're in other people's airspace. Like it's totally weird, and the drones are now making this obvious that there are confluences of airspace where will be aircraft and there'll be drones in the same area, and they're both legal. So now what, right? And that's part of that Part 107 training, and I'm sure that'll evolve as they figure this stuff out. Because as a lot of you know, the fires up in Palisade, there was a guy out there flying his drone, and a firefighting aircraft collided with it. Now the crew is safe, but it was $60,000 worth of damage. They did find out who it was, and it turned out it was a filmmaker, oddly. A filmmaker and a game maker, like a video game guy. It was really weird. But
He's an idiot.
yeah, I mean, but I remember I was at there's something at Corona Airport we do called Cars, Planes, and Coffee, and it's a cool event. There's a bunch of food trucks and cars and planes, and it's really everyone's doing cool, and people are flying drones, and it's like, this is an airport. Like, you cannot fly drones at the airport, but then there's restrictions. Of course you can, but you need approval. But you have like people flying drones, and there's live aircraft flying around, and helicopters, and I was like, someone's gonna get hit by a drone, so it's just, this is the new world we're in.
Yeah,
So.
I think we've lost internet
Oh, don't say
because
that.
I can't even pull up the airspace.
Like I said, you might need to restart your browser.
Yeah,
It'll
let
flood
me,
the browser eventually.
Let me close all.
Yeah, internet seems to be up, so I think it's just the flood of the browser.
Drone times.
Drone times, yeah.
Yeah, my friend, he teaches the drone program at Mount Sac. So every Saturday he has to go up there and post them because they're like, somewhere in the approach path for racket.
Well, so when we do counter drug missions on the border, there's a couple of drone areas down there as well, and I've actually seen their drones. So it's a thing. It's a real thing. It'd be flying around, and you see a little object just whip by you, and you're like, we're above, but that's the thing. I mean, it's like at surface to 1,200 feet. We're at 1,500 feet, and it's close enough for you. So,
I don't know why it's not showing the airspace. That's very strange. At any rate, you can see here I clicked right here, and that's telling me that it's permissible to 300 feet, because that's actually over by my house. If I click here near the airport, I'm going to get a 0. It's not going to allow me to automatically get a waiver. Can I go to the FAA and get a waiver to fly here? Absolutely. It's not that difficult, but you have to plan ahead. You have to get a waiver for, a future date, and it has to go through, and that's when they really get the tower here involved and other places. So again, it's mostly common sense. That guy flying in the middle of, water dropping aircraft,
well, there was that, but
you
if
can't fix stupid.
But if
I'm
you also
sorry.
remember, a couple of years ago, there was a guy filming, I believe, either outside of SNA or LA, filming aircraft on approach. So
Yeah.
aircraft were passing beneath the drone.
Right.
So that was interesting. So.
There was another knucklehead in Las Vegas, took his drone to Vegas with him, put it up on the parking structure at Caesars or one of these places, took it off. Number one, the Vegas Strip is a no-fly zone, period. You can't fly anything there. So he's already in trouble there. Then he lost control of it. The drone went over to the airport and crashed right next to the runway. And so I think his fines, I think it was $40,000 worth of fines or something. They just handed out $185,000 worth of fines here recently. So you got to use your head. You got to know what you're doing. You got to, obviously make the right request. Say it again. I saw an interview with the guy, and part of me felt bad for him because I honestly think it was just out of ignorance. He just wanted a drone picture of the Vegas Strip.
It's just it's just like the people that are shining lasers at planes. Like,
right.
Some of them are malicious, but most of them are just very ill-informed, right? They think it's funny or whatever it is, and it's like, well, meanwhile, you're blinding a pilot, his passengers. So I don't know the meeting of dumb and uninformed, but
this little laser in my pin here is good for 5 miles.
Yep.
5 miles, I can blind you. People don't realize that.
Well, and that's the other thing. To fly a drone at night, you have to have a strobe that can be seen for 3 miles. And that's what this little guy is, and that's why he goes on there. Because
all that extra weight, how much battery life?
Yeah, it's pretty light. But the point is you've got to know the rules. You've got to abide by the rules, and don't be that guy that gets the $35,000 fine.
I think the big thing with drones, especially if you're going to get into it, you need to be very diligent about studying, subscribing to the appropriate newsletters and whatnot from the FAA, because this is an evolving territory, right? And as we say in the FAA, all of you certificated pilots know this. The rules are written in blood, right? So as things start to happen, the rules will change. So that's, I think, the best advice we can give you is be curious about drones, their safety, the rules that govern them, and don't do dumb things.
Right. So in this example, this is the park that we fly at. You can see there are no restrictions there, and that's why that park was picked, because we don't have to get Lance approval. There is no airspace. However, you got to be careful, because right behind where we fly is a prison, and that's also a no-fly zone. So, again,
you want to drop some cigarettes in there?
yeah, exactly. Make a little extra cash. But you really don't want to be dumb. A lot of these places, by the way, have anti-drone devices where they will jam your control frequency, and the drone will either return to home or crash, one of the two.
Yeah,
And the FAA requires, as a Part 107 pilot, that you have your FAA ID on the outside of the aircraft. So when they find your aircraft in the prison, they're going to know exactly who it belongs to.
What's your ID?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we're coming towards the end. Any other questions? Believe me, I want to get this cranked up because I want to get us an assigned drone, whether it's a Skydio 2, a Skydio X2D, a X10. I want to get one assigned here so that people have one to use to get spun up on this. I think it's going to become, it's never going to replace the manned missions, but it's going to become a very integral part of CAP search and rescue, especially with ground team integration. Yes, sir.
Have you known of any actual SARs that were using the drone?
Yes. Yeah, there's been several. Down in San Diego, they've actively found, they've got a find down there. There have been several. Anything else? Anything from the outside world? Any questions? I should look there. Sorry. Why am I pointing at you? Oh, there's something in chat. Speaker is muted on Teams. Nope, that's it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate your patience and.
Very good. Stop there. All right. All right. Get back to what am I sharing? There we go. All right. Let's see. I didn't actually get to check if the aircraft was out of maintenance yet. Do we know?
It's in the hangar.
So O2 is all fixed?
Yep.
And it's all ready to go, ready to start flying?
Rides this weekend on Sunday.
Who's doing all right? Terry?
Terry.
Nice. All right.
Squadron 31.
All right. Well, good. Back to fully mission capable. Tahoe's good. I saw it. It didn't look like it was destroyed or anything. So this weekend, the hangar move. Yay. Mute myself here. So anyone who is available, I think you said 9 o'clock? That's when we're starting?
9 to 5.
9 to 5. So 9 to 5, Saturday and Sunday. If you're not doing anything else, please come help out. Even, many hands make light work. So let's just get it done, get it over with, and enjoy our new hangar. The slurry looks great. Smells slurry in there.
Yes. I apologize I'm not in uniform, but we were finishing seating today.
Yeah,
let's finish that at 5.
Oh, that's a good question. Should they wear a uniform?
No, you don't. No, it's work detail. Wear something comfortable.
The goal is to get it done on Saturday so we can cancel on Sunday.
Yeah.
So Mike Swift believes that we should be able to get it done in one day, but I gave us a safety day just in case we can't.
Excellent. And if still give people. I mean, look, it's a volunteer organization. I can inspire, but I can't give you full orders. I think they are having SUSS stuff at Group 1, aren't they? So if you'd rather not help us move, then you can go get your. But I don't think Chuck's going to sign you off on Fem and Prep, so you have to find out. Oh, did they cancel it?
You had to sign it by the 14th.
Oh, good. All right, good. If you're not in, you're out already.
I went for the hangar move.
Let's see.
But yeah.
If you are instead of me squinting at this, excited. If you're going to be in Sacramento, there's an air show up there. They probably need some help. So if you're going to be in the area in the March 21st to 23rd, reach out. I can point you in the right direction, but more informational. April 12th, 13th, the March Air Force Base Air Show. That's local here for anyone who's not around here. But we try to help. The March Air Force Base Squadron, of course, is hosting it, but they need all the help they can get, which includes us seniors. I don't know if we're showing a plane there yet. I haven't heard anything. Yeah, we normally get a space and have a plane. I'll bring it up at the next group staff meeting or commander call, whichever comes first. But I'll definitely bring it up. Like, I know that we should at least request a space, and if our plane's available, it should be there. But I'll bring it up. I'll reach out to Carolyn as well.
I might volunteer for that one.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's
I've flown over it maybe 20, 30 times. Never
We-
had a chance to land.
the last Sarex we had. I know Terry had to divert there, so yeah, it's apparently the FBO is really nice there. So, yeah. Yes.
I wanted to say, I got an email saying that on February 21st and February 27th, groups 2 and 5 are hosting online famine prep for drone tech and drone pilot. It's going to be hosted through Teams.
Okay. So 21st and 27th, there's going to be famine prep for technician. I'm assuming.
Technician, and I think they said pilot as well.
Okay. And it's online.
Yeah, it's hosted on Teams, but it looks like you would have had to have signed up before the 15th, but I would think you could probably still email them and
If they have
they would
spaces.
say, hey, you know.
All right. If anyone is interested, reach out to Harper. Sounds like she has more details. Or
Yeah,
unless Chuck
it's,
does. I don't know.
It looks like it was sent by Major Ashish Goel. So that I could definitely forward that to somebody if they
All right.
wanted it.
And by the way, a lot of the famine prep is exchangeable between those two ratings. So technicians also
Sign you up. Okay.
mission pilot.
Okay. All right. If that interests anyone or anyone online, reach out to Harper for better details on that. April 19th, 21st, the PCR Region Conference. So if you're hanging around Portland for whatever reason on those dates, make a note of that. There's going to be a wing-led exercise. I think they're still looking for base staff. It's in Bakersfield. The wing commander is trying to put that together, so we'll see how that comes together. But if you kind of want to showcase your base staff skills, that would be a good place to do it. May 10th, the Group 3, Level 2, Part 1. Try to do that fast. We're going to have that training here at the Squadron. Lieutenant Colonel Norbert Sheehan is going to do that training. Interesting, I was reaching out, asking if any of us were Volunteer University, which I don't know of anyone in this room that is. Are you?
I'm still.
You're still in the process. Like, I knew you were still in the process, so I'll re-ping him and say you're in the process, but none of us have done it yet, so I don't even think Swift is. So but anyways, that training will be here. So if you need your level 2 part 1, you can hang around till May and get it done there. I'm curious though. Part 1 is normally online, so maybe it's supposed to be part 2. I don't know. We'll see how that works out as we get closer. And finally, the June 22nd and 23rd, the Aircrew Emergency Services Competition. Yay! If you put together a flight crew and you want to showcase your elite SAR skills, that's your place to do it. I think right now it's Andre, myself, and Chuck are one team, so we're planning on going. But yeah, you build a crew and then try to find an aircraft. And then practice your SAR skills because you're going to be showcasing them at the ES competition. Let's see. So I think we covered almost everything listed here. I think that was last week. We just covered that. Pilot onboarding. So prospective members, new members that are pilots, make sure you contact Paul, Captain Connor. He is your primary contact for onboarding, although I'm kind of your secondary, and Lieutenant Colonel Swift is kind of your secondary tertiary as well. All of us know how to get you through the process, but Paul is going to be the best person to do it, and he's charged personally by the group commander to get you guys through it. So there's that. Let's see. Oh, you heard Chuck mention about being a set. So if you've been in a duty position for longer than a year, and you like teaching, or you think you have a good ability to teach other people and make other people good at that particular duty, you too can be a skills evaluator trainer. That allows you to certify people, to train them and evaluate them for getting their ops quals, their operations qualifications. If you're interested in that, please let me know. It's a little bit of a process, but it's not too hard. But just remember the requirement is being a year in a particular position for emergency services. Around the table, has anyone got anything that I haven't covered or needs to be covered? That I don't. Yes.
Somebody's birthday is tomorrow.
Somebody's.
Somebody's.
Oh, he's finally turning 18. Ah, all right, excellent. I don't know. Everybody, they look like kids to me at this point. So, no, congratulations. Well, how old are you? 25.
20.
Ah, see, I was close.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, man. You'll be going up against. Every time I try to say his last name, I get it wrong. But yeah, you'll be like him. It's like the most qualified young guy. Yeah. So excellent. Well, congratulations.
One more year, man, and you can go have a beer.
I know. See, it's not even worth going on a CD mission. You can't enjoy the best part of going down a CD.
And we have another person. Coming this Sunday.
Who's that?
Me.
Harper.
Mine's in 5 days, yeah.
So finally able to drink, or?
No, I'm turning 27.
Okay. Well, in that case, congratulations.
They can sing those were the days.
Well, those were that's what I'm singing at my birthday.
I thought Bob was going to say for sure he's got shoes older than.
I'm pretty certain I have shoes older than that,
I'm pretty
actually.
sure I do too.
Jeez. Good Lord, I'm feeling old. Like I said, I look young, and my last name says I'm young, but it's different. Anything else? Anything else that we missed?
Michelle had a question online, just that she can't make it probably at 9, but it's still okay if she came by noon on Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
we'll be here. We'll be here all day.
Yeah, we'll be here all week. Try the
Just show of
steak.
hands,
Yeah.
So I can know how much we can expect. Who can make it?
I
Well-
hope to make it in the afternoon.
Well, okay. I'll be here. But
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. As long as we have at least 3 more people, we're good.
how
Myself,
are we gonna get the heavier stuff? Are we getting
we got trucks. And,
Okay, that's
yeah,
what I was
we
trying to
got- we
figure
got a
out.
plan. So we have at least 2 trucks coming. And Mike says all the stuff's not that heavy.
Ha ha.
Okay.
Okay. So I got a bad back. Can I carry paper?
He said I'll bring a dolly truck. Take the
Alright.
water out and lift it over your shoulder.
All right. Anything else? Going once. Going twice. All right. No sale. See you this weekend. Our next meeting is regular at the 25th. That's it. Thank you very much. Meeting
Change
adjourned.
that back. I think
Oh.
I got it working.
Oh, what? Oh. Hey, we might have a bonus material.
There it is. So this is a 3-dimensional picture. It also shows the elevation, so you can see that's 50 feet, 55, 60, 65. So if, for whatever reason, if somebody wanted to know the height of that tree, it could tell them that. And again, you can rotate completely around this. Like I was talking about that picnic table that you really couldn't see. You can see that it's back there, so if there's something hiding or whatever, let me turn those contours off.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, yeah, you can look around. Those diamonds are the position of the aircraft when it took the picture. So for whatever reason, if you wanted to see that photo right there, you click on it, and it will bring up just that photo. And then you can zoom in to it, do whatever you want.
And it's not using LiDAR to get those data, right?
No.
It's just using like picture approximation.
It's using GPS, so all of these aircraft have GPS in them, and then it's calculating it because it knows the aircraft's at 150 feet. So now it's taken 45-degree pictures around the perimeter, so it knows. It's smart enough to figure out how tall those objects are.
Yeah.
So if you
Cool
look,
stuff.
some of the pictures like that one are at an angle. So it's at a 45-degree angle where it's taking the picture. So, anyway, pretty cool stuff.
Very cool. All right. Well, that's the bonus show there.
Bonus.
Like and subscribe. Smash that button. Anyway, sorry. Hey, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much. Everyone have a good one. Ow.